Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Jeremy from Randolph Running Club. I've been MIA for quite some time. It's been quite an adventure, and I just want to make a video just to kind of walk you through why I haven't been putting out stuff a ton over the last year and a half, and then also just to kind of talk through the channel, where things are at today, kind of just a life update, training update, everything. So yeah, I guess let's get started. So I think my last video might have actually been like the Invincible 3 review, Nike Invincible 3 that is, last year. And a lot has changed in that time. So I actually, at the time, I was living in California. My wife and I, we were living in Oakland. And I have since moved. Florida man has returned back to Florida. So I'm back in not the 305, I'm in Broward County now, but back in Florida now. And, just really enjoying that, being closer to family, being able to just experience a different type of lifestyle. California, I think that's a story for another time. It was an interesting time for sure. But yeah, I'm Florida man's back home. So, moved back at the end of 2023, and, just been running, doing everything that I can. But I think, just between work getting a little bit more hectic, I only signed up for like 1 or 2 races. Ironically enough, I did another World Marathon Major, so I went back for redemption at Chicago. My first time running Chicago was like 5.5 hours, and this time was, even though I was facing an injury, ended up being like 4 hours, 18 minutes or something like that. So a much better experience, but because I was just going to kind of have fun, I didn't actually record. If I could do it again, I probably would have brought the camera with me, but I didn't. So I just, the few races that I did, I didn't even have the camera, so there really weren't any race recaps or anything like that. And I think I just really kind of just wanted to focus on running and just enjoying running, using it as kind of relaxation, right? Like I'm not at work, I'm not, at the house thinking about this or that or whatever. Let me just take this time to really be in the mile that I'm in and just enjoy running. So for that reason alone, I think I just really didn't, get into too much recording, too many videos. And also, I think, if I'm being completely honest, when I was leading up to the Berlin Marathon, I struggled with like a little bit of peroneal tendonitis. So I made a video on that way back when. I could probably try and link it here. But essentially, I had like ankle pain kind of, and like my ankle felt a little swollen. I went to a podiatrist. They diagnosed it as peroneal tendonitis. And I was like, yeah, I promise I'll do whatever y'all say, for sure. Just let me run this Berlin Marathon, and then I can, worry about that after. And the doctor gave me the go ahead to run the race, so I did it. And that race was amazing, right? Like I would say of the marathons that I've run so far, that was probably the most fun that I've had. Just the crowd was cool and everything. And my wife ran it as well. We'll have to get her on the channel to tell that story. But the moral of the story is, I didn't really rest that injury probably like I should have, and I feel like it's been kind of like an ongoing thing where that like kind of flares up. So over this last year and some change, I've been trying to be a little bit more mindful, take a little bit more time to just not injure that any further, right? And like let that heal a little bit. But I would say definitely, everything kind of comes to roost at a certain point. And I was on a pretty fast, training run in January, and I ended up rolling my ankle really bad, just on some uneven ground. Kind of took a bad step, rolled my ankle, and that really kind of made me take a step back and say, let me just really focus on this. So I took about 6 weeks off, really let the ankle heal, and that made huge strides. Worked on a ton of mobility work. Just trying to focus on jump rope and single leg, repetitions of like sissy squats, I guess. I don't know if that's the right name, but whatever. Roll with me here. So, just doing things like that to try and focus on health, recovery, just making sure that I'm in the best place so that I can get back to the running that I enjoy doing, getting up for those long miles, those long runs on Saturdays and Sundays or whatever, or even, just being able to incorporate some speed work and not have to have those worries of injury or some kind of chronic issue. So with that being said, I'm back at it. I mean, I never stopped running, but I'm definitely getting back to, getting some more serious mileage. I've been doing more like, 20-mile weeks, very slow pace. I'll do some strides like once a week or something just so that there is some turnover there. But for the most part, I'm not afraid to admit that I'm running miles at like 10 and a half minutes, 11 minutes. And I find that my body is really able to handle the increased mileage doing that. So yeah, I think just slowing on down, that's like the right key right there. That's the big thing. Can't emphasize that enough. And I'll have to make a video really talking about that because it is kind of a frustrating experience. You go on Strava or you go on, whatever you use, Garmin Connect or something, and you're seeing your friends posting stuff and they're there, running 7-something minute miles. And it's like, man, I want to run those miles too. But, I think you have to run the mile that you're in. And this has been a season of me just really understanding that. So with that being said, it's been a blessing to be able to get back to it, back to running, back to recording. And I look forward to just dropping more videos. I'm trying to be a little bit more consistent. It's always scary when you share a goal with people because then you have to be held accountable. But I think I can commit to at least 2 videos a month. I'll try to keep up with some kind of gear review, and then maybe some sort of like lifestyle or training video or just something of that nature. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to just being a lot more consistent, not disappearing on you guys, and trying to grow the channel and just really share my experience as a runner, as somebody who is, kind of constantly training and working on something like this. And just hopefully be a little bit more interactive with the community as well. So I really appreciate you tuning in and just listening to me kind of rant for a couple minutes here about just everything that's happened in my life. But it's been quite a journey, and I really appreciate you guys for liking, subscribing, everything, interacting with these videos, because when you interact with the video, that allows me to be able to make more content like this and just be able to be a little bit more prevalent on YouTube. So really appreciate that. Feel free to follow me, like, subscribe, whatever. I have an Instagram page, Randolph Running Club on Instagram, where I am trying to be a little bit more active as well. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take it easy.